Hello and welcome to Palace Fan TV for Jim and Jay's final say post Spurs game. I'm Jim Daly. If you're wondering what those things are behind me, there is a glitter ball up there. So don't worry, your screen's not broken, my camera's not broken. Just thought I'd get out of the way because that was annoying me. So these are my thoughts on Palace winning 1-0 at White Hart Lane. Martin Kelly, the match winner. Never thought I'd be saying that. And what a goal it was from Kelly. Only playing because Suarez was suspended. Absolutely rifled it in the top corner. Lovely assist from Wilf as well. His first goal for Palace. We've always said on Jim and Jay's final say how much we like Martin Kelly. Normally at centre back, but it's fair to say that he was given a chance and absolutely took it. So fair play to him. Now Palace have been handed, I think, the best of the entire quarter-final draw away at Reading. I think out of all the teams in the hat, that's exactly who you wanted. Palace should be, well, fairly confident of winning that. Not going to be easy, of course, but they could have got a much harder draw. And I think they've got a very good chance to make it through to the semi-finals, which would be crazy, really, given how weird 2016 has been for us. We haven't won in the league. We've only won 3 games, and those have been 3 cup games: Southampton, Stoke, and Spurs. All S's, although I guess Spurs is technically a T. Which is impressive, really. I think we've very much earned our place in the quarterfinals because not often do you get 3 top 10 Premier League teams to play one after the other in the cup. But we've done well, and in fact we've played well in each game and deserved it. The Tottenham game, we rode our luck at times. Ali hit the post twice, very lucky not to score. Martin Kelly blocked Onoma at the back post when it looked like he was going to score. So there was elements of luck, but and Hennessy made a very good save from Kane as well, which I think we should point out, especially given a lot of the stick Hennessy's got this season. Most of it, I think, justified for mistakes, but I think if you're going to do that, you've got to praise him as well, and he made a very good save to deny Kane there. But we scored a good goal, and I think we probably deserved it. We deserved it in as much as we were still in the game. There was something a bit more sort of Pulis about that Palace performance. You know, not as much possession or shots, but resolute, determined, a clean sheet. You know, lovely clean sheet. We haven't had many of those in 2016, and it just felt like it was going to be our day. And part of me now is thinking it might be our year for the FA Cup, because we're giving ourselves a really good opportunity now to win it. And why not? You know, we're having a weird season. Maybe it will be one of those seasons where the league form peters out and we end up winning the cup. I mean, knowing Palace, we'll even maybe do a Wigan and go down and win the cup. I don't think we will. I think there's too many bad teams below us. But we've got a very good chance of winning it. And you know, now the question remains: what would you rather have? A guaranteed top 10 finish, or a sniff at Europe, or a place in the cup final? And I know what I would take every time, and that would be a cup final. I don't mind if we finish 14th, 15th, and we limp over the line to that 40 points. You don't get to go to a cup final at Wembley that often, and the few times we've been there in playoffs, they've always been brilliant, memorable games, and I just think now's the time to go for it. So why not? I would take a cup final appearance this season. It'd be fantastic. Half of Wembley, red and blue. We always do that very well. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. We still got to get past Reading. That'd be difficult, and if we do that, we are at Wembley for the semi-final. And even though I don't agree with that, I know Palace fans would make it a great day, but Reading actually is probably the sort of game Palace will slip up and lose in, because it'd be very classic Palace to beat the Premier League teams and then slip up against Reading. But there's something about this Palace team that makes me think we should be able to beat them. I'm getting ahead of myself now because the game's not for a few weeks, but I'm getting excited. Cup fever is hit me, and I think we could do it. But there you go. And as for the game itself, great goal from Martin Kelly, resolute performance. Scott Dan and Delaney were great. It was just a good, classic cup win from Palace. And you know, we've got Pardew in charge. He came as close as anyone who's currently at Palace. Well, Saloka's back, and Marlborough. They came close in 1990. Maybe now's time to make up for it. So there you go. I'm feeling excited. I hope you guys are too. Here's Jay from the Eagles Beak. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. If you haven't, it's February. Why haven't you subscribed? Hit that button now. And because we've got loads going on the channel. And follow us on Instagram and Snapchat. Anyway, here's Jay from the Eagles Beak with his thoughts on the win at Spurs. And I'll see you again soon.
Hey guys, welcome back to Palace Fan TV, and we're here with another Jim and Jay's final say to talk about the FA Cup 5th round win at White Hart Lane earlier on this afternoon. It's been a while since we've been able to talk about a decent result, a win even. I've forgotten what it feels like to talk about a positive result. Fantastic win. We're through to the quarterfinals. We've beaten second place in the Premier League Spurs in a tough battle, I have to say. I don't know. It's difficult to see sometimes who was the informed team, who was the team challenging on three fronts in three different competitions. You have to throw into the mix that Spurs had a midweek trip to Italy against Fiorentina, but these teams have big squads, and they mix players up and around. We've had a lot of injuries coming into the game, real bad form, but I think we played well. We got stuck in when we needed to. We battled hard. And we started with a very similar lineup to the game Watford. We started with both Wickham and Adebayor up front, which a lot of us said it didn't really work in the Watford game. I have to say, it worked a lot better today. There's a bit more understanding between the two players. Wilf had an in and out game. He was getting a lot of treatment again in a game where I have to say a lot of the Spurs players were going down quite easily, getting free kicks from the referee, whereas he's got a name for himself, unfortunately, now, and he wasn't getting the free kicks. Perhaps he should have done. He was getting some rough treatment, particularly from Danny Rose. But we got stuck in, and when we had chances, we could have had two penalties in that first half, really. Vaughan came out and tripped Adebayor in a penalty area, and we got a corner out of it. But looking at the replay, should have been a penalty, I think, for me. I'd like to see it again. And the other one was a handball. I think it's Bentaleb who raised his hand in the area. Again, the pundits always say, is the hand in an unnatural position? For me, the hand was up above his head, so it is an unnatural position. He wasn't like jumping in the air for the ball to head the ball. So I think we could have had two penalties in that first, or should have had two penalties in that first half, particularly when you consider the arguably harsh penalty against Watford where Jednak brought down Daly in the box, and that was given, and you get those sorts of things week in, week out. I know those sorts of fouls week in, week out in the Premier League which aren't actually given. So but the goal came from a very unlikely source. Martin Kelly replacing the suspended Papa Soiree, played at right back and stormed down that right wing to latch onto actually a great bit of play in the middle from Wilf Zaha. I think through that first half he did lose possession in critical areas of the pitch, but he did well with that one, and he held the ball up long enough for Kelly to get down that right. Kelly still had a lot to do. He had to get his shot on target, which he did, and it went kind of through Vaughan at near post, literally with power on target, back in net. Just what we needed, just a shot on Yarmany to go into half time. We're up against it at different parts of the game, but the flip side, we did have a few chances as well. So second half was always going to be tough, but I don't think it's as tough as it was in the first half. Hennessy made a couple of good saves. Great to see Yannick Bolasie come on and give us a real outlet for the last 20 minutes. It's like I said at the start of the video, it's been such a while since we've talked about a win. Obviously the FA Cup is where we save our form, and it's fantastic to be in the quarterfinals. Really hope this will give us the impetus now going into the West Brom game next weekend. A lot of people are calling it a critical game, but for me, when our squad of players is fully fit, that is a squad of players that saw us sitting at the top four in the Premier League earlier on in the season. That seems a long way off now, but we know the capability of this group of players. And with Bolasie back, it takes the pressure off Zaha, as it showed a little bit today when Bolasie came on. 2 or 3 great runs with the ball. Should have scored. I think it was Wickham latching onto the ball when the ball was probably going into the net, and Wickham was called for offside, so that could have been 2-0. But very impressed with the performance today. A real hard-working team effort. It's hard to pick somebody that really shone in the game. Bolasie shone because we haven't seen him for so long playing for us, and he gives us that real outlet, like I mentioned. Wilf carried on working hard. Scott Dan, I think, was brilliant, exceptional. I think one of the moments of the game for me was when Scott Dan was, I don't know why he was stuck up front for coming back from a corner or whatever, but the ball came from Hennessy. He took it down like a striker and just almost put Ledley through. I think the ball was just a bit, touch hard, and Vaughan came out and claimed the ball. But that was an excellent moment. It just shows what you get with Scott Dan is just absolute quality, both at the back and up front. So very happy. Just waiting for the quarter-final draw actually later on this evening, which be interested to see who we get. I mean, we've had 5 Premier League teams in a row now in the FA Cup. Maybe we could have a break this time and get somebody, but no games are easy. It'd be interesting to see who we get. We can touch on that in the next video, but very happy tonight. Great to see a win for Palace, albeit in the FA Cup quarter-finals. I think it's the first time for 20 odd years we've been in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. So hopefully we can take advantage. It'd be great if we can get a bit more of a luckier draw than we've had, but at this stage of the game, you have to beat the teams, so the good teams. So thanks for watching. By all means, subscribe to these videos, share them with your friends. Make sure you get as many people following, subscribing as you can. Follow Palace Fan TV on their Facebook page, on Twitter, and also Snapchat on match days, which is always a good watch. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back with a video after the West Brom game next weekend. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.